Folks, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. Today we have a letter here. I did remove the names and the particular LGS in the United States to keep them anonymous and not create anything strange. But I want to read this message that came in from one of my not non-patron, just email. We're going to go through it with you guys. And yes, it actually starts off with "Dear folks," just so you know. So, dear Rudy, folks! It actually says at the top. I've been going to my local LGS for around 5 years. The store has been in business for, I'm going to say 10 to 20 years. I don't want to give an exact number. The LGS has been in business for 10 to 20 years. Been going here for 5 years. When I was playing Magic last weekend, an employee told me that they're going to be going out of business. I was shocked. I felt depressed all week. Shocked Pikachu face? All right, sorry, this is serious. I was told mostly due to Magic products either not selling or were forced to sell at a loss. Gee, what a surprise. They haven't been trying, the store has now been trying to convert to selling more single cards locally and pumping single cards online. But the employees told me the price declines in singles and volatility in prices has made it very difficult to sell single cards online in TCG Player. In addition, the rates of return online seem to be increasing from customers saying I received the wrong foil version, or they have buyer's remorse because the price drops and they want to return it. That is a real thing. The store appears to be very well stocked with a lot of sealed product from the last 1 to 2 years. When I'm playing my group, I think it means when I'm in my play group, I think, I don't see many other customers actually buying singles or sealed product from the LGS anymore in person. The store also converted a section of the LGS into a snack shack to sell snacks, food, and drinks. This seemed to help. I did notice more people buying small items. I guess buying food and drink. I don't have any other places in town to visit. This is the last LGS anywhere near my area. I feel depressed and empty. Any advice on moving forward or how to help the store, or is this a lost cause? So, I'm not going to be silly and have memes in this because it's kind of a reality. This is a truth missile type video. All right, there's a lot to unpack there. I guess let's keep the letter. There's a lot to unpack. So first things first. There's about 4 sections that are mentioned here. First, the employee, I guess not the owner, some random employee. I guess the owner informed the employees that they're going to be, shutting down soon. Told, tell the employees who are looking for their job. I'm assuming that's why the employee commented something to a regular customer. That's usually how this works. So let's start with one section here. The store appears to be very well stocked with new product in the last 1 to 2 years and blah, 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 selling at a loss. So obviously this is a real thing. Stores right now have tremendous amounts of sealed product in Magic, even though Hasbro and Wizards and these top people at the Ivory Tower say we're not doing anything wrong, everything's perfect and beautiful. This story is extraordinarily common right now. And the reality is, I don't know if there really is a future, I don't know if you really can save most of these LGSs in the United States. They say there's 3,000 to 5,000 LGSs in the United States, okay? Of which maybe a quarter of them are actual WPM or WPN Premium or whatever. But the nasty truth is, ladies and gentlemen, is that a lot of these stores are going to die. They're going to fail. They're going to go bankrupt. The people, the families who run these things, own these, are going to lose a substantial amount of money between rent, overhead, monthly fees, costs. I don't know if there is a place in the future at this time. Magic and Pokemon, historically, were the backbone, Magic being number 1, to help support and keep these stores stable and with a release schedule, getting people in Friday nights, and to sell snacks and other things. It was all an ecosystem. The problem is now with Amazon dumps and the extreme sheer volume of products, there really is no money for us. There's no way, there's not an ecosystem or an economy in place for a brick and mortar normal store without a YouTube presence, without a social media presence, without some big hot shop, celebrity, there's not really much in place to make it work. And it sounds like, again, I don't have an exact store name here because I took it out earlier. I'm going to assume it sounds like a small town, maybe not like in the middle of nowhere, but it sounds like not a high, dense population area. And and it's talking about it's difficult to sell single cards online, wrong versions, buyer's remorse. So the buyer's remorse thing's always been a thing. But the more I've been telling you guys on this channel, the more volatile the secondary market, the more reprints there are. If somebody can buy single cards, and if 3 weeks later they bought a play set of 4 cards for $40, $10 a card, let's just say, and that play set of 4 cards erodes down to 15, 20, drops 50, 60% for a rare, maybe it goes from $10 a card to, $5 a card. That's a very common thing. Especially now when you have, 18 billion versions of every card. And again, people don't think the cards are ugly. It's just, what the hell's the point? There's not a single person that wakes up every day and says, God, we need 9 versions of this card. Why are they only making 7? Like, no one's doing that shit. This is something that they fabricated. I'm sorry, or as some of you from the sports card world, this parallels. It doesn't really mean much. It just it's goofy. So the whole buyer's remorse and price swings. Sometimes the buyer will email you and say, "Hey, I bought this from you 2 weeks ago for $40, and now it's worth $15. Can you refund the difference?" I've seen that. That was something I remember running into years ago, selling singles and mass box opening, but it wasn't very common because prices didn't swing as hard as they did today. But at the same time, we didn't have a secret layer with a reprint, and then all of a sudden a standard set with a reprint, and then in that standard set there'd be 5 more variants of the reprint. Then Jumpstart would have a reprint, and then all of a sudden it'd be in a commander deck, and all of a sudden a few months later it'd be in some Modern Horizons or Time Spiral Remastered or a Modern Math. It would be in another. Like, you wouldn't have this type of, or then it would show up in the list. So we never had this kind of thing in the past. The reality is, look, I don't know if there is a way, and I'm not in the boats that there is a place for a lot of these stores in the future. I do think Hasbro and Magic is going to pivot. I don't think all the sealed product being released now is going to go to zero. I don't think it's all garbage. Actually, a lot of the sealed product today is pretty awesome. I mean, Brothers War is pretty amazing. Jumpstart 2022 is pretty amazing. Dominaria Remastered looks pretty flippin' awesome. The Phyrexia thing, the Phyrexian theme and all that, I mean, it looks pretty awesome. But people really aren't saying, wow, these are the worst Magic products ever. No one's saying that. It's a situation of there's too much product, and then there's too many SKUs, there's too much volume within each SKU, there's too many releases in between the SKUs, and simply put, nobody can manage it. And the store's trying to sell singles, and they can't do that because there's too many variants. People buy the wrong foil versions. People get confused. The price, there's a lot of things working against it, and I'm at a point where I don't know if most LGSs belong in the future. And unless it's a unique store that has special attributes or certain things tied to it, or a famous person tied to it, or it's a hybrid of a restaurant store, or it's a hybrid, unless there's something else, splitting overhead or other specific forms of cash flow, I'm at a point where what I'm seeing is by the time Wizards pivots and they adjust, which they will have to, otherwise eventually these people are going to get fired. It's just the natural course of life. I don't think most stores are going to make it, because I don't think we're going to see any real pivot out of this variant, flashy, parallel era. It could be 6 months, a year, even 2 to 3 to 4 years. It could take substantial damage, job firings, board of director overhaul at Hasbro Wizards over many, many years from these morons to force a change. And by that time, these stores just aren't going to make it, because these product lines are coming out, and if they don't hold up, people stop buying. And then when good products come out, like right now, Jumpstart, Brothers War, Dominaria Remastered, when these good products come out, people don't buy them because they're just like, I'm not buying it. I want to buy it, but I'm just going to wait for the collapse. Now that people feel that way, it's even worse. So that's my opinion on it. I think it's a terrible thing. The best thing I can tell you is, time does heal all. Markets move forward, and eventually we're able to look back and shake our heads. But I do hope things do get better. We do have some shifts. Unfortunately, I don't have an answer for this individual, because the amount of and remember, this individual also claimed they have a lot of sealed product that's not selling, and the owner probably doesn't want to sell it at a loss, but he may not have enough capital to sustain everything. So that's where it's at. And unfortunately, I don't have an answer for you all, and I don't know a way to navigate it. And I just don't know if there's any way moving forward that these stores are going to exist at all.